Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to the QueenAShakur TV show, the original QueenAShakur show, and Authentic Black Goddess TV. So I'm live on all channels, all right? So make sure you're subscribed to every channel. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your daily vitamins, the first dose. Okay? So with that all being said, everyone please go ahead and like and share this video if you could be so kind. Also, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all when you subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. And so that you know every time the Queen Goddess goes live. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. And also follow the QueenAShakur fan page, okay? That someone set up. And don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Text the word Royals to 1-844-589-6096. So I sent out some of my own notifications today to those of you who are signed up. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. This is going to be a brief live. Okay? Hold on, beloveds. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, don't forget that today at 6 o'clock, hey, Mark Ayers from the UK. Let me see who's all in this chat real quick. Hey, Tracy, TJ, Mark Ayers from the UK, Shalonda, Diane, Beatzilla's in the house, GA Fit Health, Whitney, Mary is in the house, Diane, all right, I see you. Hey, Ray Williams, Roberts. So listen, True Justice, all right, Howard, Ryan, Donna, Patrick, Nessie, King Lejeune, Deuce Cigarillo. All right, shout out to everybody, Snaz Boogie, Cherie, Byron, Susan, Just Biz 444. Listen, Black and Silver, I see you. So shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone tuned into the Queen, right? Let's go ahead and get it started because here's the thing, people. I'm going to make this brief because I have a panel discussion that's going to be starting at 6 o'clock. For those of you that subscribe to my to receive my personal notifications, then those of you who text the word Royals to 1-844-589-6096. You already know there's going to be another live because you already have the link to it. So with that all been said, for the rest of you, you can find the link on Twitter, and you can also find it in the YouTube community starting at 6 o'clock this evening, Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be, I'm going to have some guests on the show, and we're going to be talking about some things that you don't want to miss. So make sure you tune in, all right? And make sure you like and share these videos. It's very important that you share these videos. You know how YouTube has the Queen shadow band, right? Okay, so you need to make sure you're sharing the videos, very importantly. And please make sure you're liking the videos, all right? So with that all being said, let's get into it. So Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, has some things to say about Jussie Lemon. And you know what? I have to agree with everything she said because it's the same thing I said about Jussie as well. So let's talk about that. And let's talk about that because she wants to know if Jussie is going to get the same amount of compassion, get the same treatment as Amy Cooper. And you know what? I have to give her a shout out. I have to give her a shout out for bringing that up because you know what? That is a very good argument. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Because I have talked to you all numerous of times about how these Kens and Karens weaponize the police against Black people because they already know that often things can go awry when Black people have interactions with the police, even if it's something minuscule, like a traffic stop or whatever, even if it's you getting stopped as you're walking down the sidewalk for a stop and frisk or whatever. We know that often Black people are harassed, brutalized, and even killed when they have interactions with the police, whether they're armed or not, but mostly when they're not armed, right? Even Black children. So I thought that was a very interesting question. Hold on just a moment. Everyone likes up, please like and share. Okay? So let's talk about this because here's the thing. Now, the first thing that Miss Knowles-Lawson said, this is Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles-Lawson. The first thing she asked, she suggested that Jussie Smollett should escape jail time, given that Kyle Rittenhouse got off completely. She compared it to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. She said he should not get any jail time. Didn't I say the same thing? So, weighing in on the Empire alum's assault hoax drama, the mother of Beyonce criticizes the justice system as she compares the actor's case to that of Kyle Rittenhouse and Amy Cooper. Now, Tina Knowles makes use of her platform to voice her opinion. And we know she's done this several times, right? She was talking about Daniel Coonmaran, remember? She said that he was coonish. You all remember that because you were like, Queen, you coined that phrase. Is she listening to you? She said he was coonish, and he absolutely is. That's the first thing I called him, hence why I call him Daniel Coonmaran. Now, criticizing the way the law seemingly works for white people as in comparison to black people. The mother of Beyonce Knowles has suggested that Jussie Smollett should not be given a harsh sentence considering Kyle Rittenhouse's recent not guilty verdict for killing two men in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, on Sunday, December the 12th, the entrepreneur took to her Instagram page to share a screenshot of an article that compared Jussie's case to that of Amy Cooper. And that's, if you don't remember who Amy Cooper is, she's the woman who they called and deemed her Central Park Karen. Remember, she said the black man who was the bird watcher, Christian Cooper, no relation to her, of course. She said that he was assaulting her. She lied and all of that, right? Now, they were comparing the case to that of Amy Cooper, a white woman who called the police on a black bird watcher in Central Park and falsely accused the man of threatening her life and trying to assault her. Now, in the caption, Tina Knowles-Lawson explained what the article was about. She says, the article goes on to say both were wrong, but Jussie faces possible prison time, while Amy Cooper, the woman who called the police and lied about the black man, right, that was watching birds in Central Park, she lied and said he was attacking her. She lied and said that he was attacking her. What is the difference? What is the difference? They're exactly the same thing. You see, they said Jussie was lying about a hate crime, right? And Amy Cooper was lying about a hate crime. Now, why can you call it a hate crime? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because Christian Cooper is a black man. And she's a white woman. She was clearly lying on him, put on a whole show. We remember it. But they didn't say anything about that, did they? All the devils talking trash about Jussie, wanting him to get prison time. All the Chicago PD and Mayor Lightfoot, right? They didn't say anything about that. Pay attention. Now, suggesting that Jussie should not be jailed either by the standard of justice. The 67-year-old continued to say, we will see the outcome of this for this black man. Will he get the same compassion as Amy Cooper? Noting that she's not condoning what Mr. Smollett was found guilty of. She added, I'm just asking, will he get the same compassion and understanding of knowingly lying to the police? Kyle Rittenhouse walked free after killing two people because the jury had compassion, right? She asked the question. She says, was it because the jury had compassion? Of course it was. Of course it was. And there was many of people who look like Kyle Rittenhouse who also had compassion. So that's a good question. I brought that up to you all too. I told you all, even though I don't agree with what Jussie did, I said he doesn't need to go to jail. These people have been lying on black people for far too long, and not just white women. White men have been lying on black people. I have done numerous stories. When I was on Facebook doing live streams, I did several stories about white men who, in fact, killed their wives. And they lied and said a black man carjacked them in one case. And let's not even mention Susan Smith. But that's the notorious case that we all should know about and remember. But there was a case where a white man murdered his wife. I do believe she was pregnant. He murdered her on the side of the road. And then he called the police and lied and said it was a black man who pulled them over, waved them down or something, and then got into the car and shot the wife. And then stabbed him or shot him. Of course, his was not life-threatening. And then the police consequently found out that he was lying, and then come to find out his own brother or brother-in-law or someone else in the family knew that he had planned on doing something to his wife. And there was another case about the same thing. So they have always had some of them who would lie and blame things on black people. And they didn't go to jail. They didn't go to prison. They got slaps on the wrist. So Jussie should get a slap on the wrist as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what anybody says. You can get mad all you want, whatever. I'm not condoning what Jussie did. He was absolutely wrong to lie. But at the end of the day, haven't they been lying on us throughout history? Wasn't Rosewood, the whole Rosewood massacre, based on a lie by a Karen? Wasn't the burning down of Black Wall Street initiated by a Karen who lied, even though they were already hating and jealous and mad because Black people were self-sufficient, had their own businesses, and were thriving and making money? But that was the catalyst to it all. When the girl in the elevator lied and said that that 15-year-old Black boy assaulted her, right? That's how it always has started throughout history. They've burned down entire Black communities. They've lynched hundreds and thousands of Black people based on the lies of Karens. You have Carolyn Bryant still lying up somewhere, alive and breathing, lived a full life, 80 plus years old, but Emmett Till lost his at the age of 14 thanks to her lies and BS. So while they want to talk about Jussie, I want Jussie to absolutely go free. Hashtag justice for Jussie. All right? They can miss me with it. But hold on. Let's go back and revisit something real quick. Let's go back and revisit something real quick. What about how the New York police and Linda Fahrenstein, the then prosecutor, lied on the Central Park Five? Let's talk about that. I mean, we could go back time and time again. We can keep coming up with instances, cases, and stories, and facts, and receipts, and invoices for when they have lied on Black people. And they have cost, and even just recently, remember the author who wrote the story Lovely Bones? She lied on that Black man. He was in prison for 16 years, got out, life ruined, having to, be registered as a sex offender. And then just recently, maybe a week or two ago, they exonerated him of the charges. Almost 40 years later, right? She clearly lied. Nobody's going in on her. Nobody's saying anything about that. I think I'm the only one that even reported on the story. I find that very interesting. Anyway, here's the video, because I'm going to show this again, just so we can have some clarity on this for those of you who forgot, or those of you who may not even have seen it or heard of it. Let's talk about it real quick. I'm going to share my screen.
And get a quote.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
This video has gone viral, and you're about to see why. In a part of Central Park known as the Ramble, this woman called New York police on a man who asked her to obey the posted signs and keep her dog on a leash.
Ma'am, dogs in the Ramble have to be leashed at all times. And she was actually standing right next to the sign that says dogs in the Ramble have to be leashed at all times.
The Ramble is a wildlife habitat popular with bird watchers like Chris Cooper. Dogs disturb the birds, which is why he was asking her to follow the rules. She refused.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
My thinking was I can sort of capitulate to this racial intimidation, or I can just do what I'm doing and continue recording.
He kept recording and captured this.
There is an African-American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Her false report to 911 didn't get the response she was hoping for. Chris Cooper's sister uploaded the video. Someone identified the woman as Amy Cooper, a vice president at Franklin Templeton. The company issued this statement tonight on Twitter, saying they do not condone racism of any kind, and their employee has been put on administrative leave. She has since apologized. Now, what about the dog, the Cocker Spaniel you see in the video struggling while she inexplicably pulls him onto his hind legs by the collar? Well, his name is Henry. He was a rescue dog, and the rescue organization saw the video too, and tonight it is reporting that she has surrendered the dog back to them. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC.
I rest my case. And so it's really funny that she was doing all of that, putting on and carrying on and all of that, and they didn't go in on her, did they? I mean, these same people that are talking so bad about Jussie, they didn't go in on her. That's what they didn't do. You see, like I told you all before, Jussie didn't hurt anyone. He got his little feelings hurt when people didn't believe him, perhaps. But at the end of the day, that was pretty much a victimless crime. And now with Amy Cooper, she could have gotten that man killed because she already knows how that sounds. She's calling the police and lying and talking like she's so frantic, like as if someone's really accosting her. The police could have shown up with guns blazing and blew him away because we've seen them do more to Black people for less. Traffic citations even. So I'm just saying, yeah, they didn't give her that smoke, so don't give Jussie that smoke. All right, that's what they need not do. And I think it was all a farce for them to even have this bogus of a trial. It was so stupid. He shouldn't have even had to go to trial because she didn't. Even though Christian Cooper, clearly a coon, said that she'd taken enough suffering after they fired her from her job and that was enough and just let it go. You see, that goes back to what I say. Black people are some of the most forgiving people on the planet and most accepting of others on the planet. But the devils who have so many racists among them, now I'm not saying they're all racist, but I'm saying they have a whole lot of racists among them. That's why they have all these hate groups, racist groups, wannabe supremacist groups, the Klan, the white nationalists, the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, the neo-Nazi skinheads. We could go on for days. But at the end of the day, they always try to paint a picture and narrative that we're so much worse than them, that we're homophobic, that we're the ones being racist. I'm sorry, how does fighting against a system of wannabe white supremacy and racism and being defiant against it, how does that make us racist? I'd like to know. One thing that they don't ever want to talk about, you see, here's the thing, let me tell y'all something too. And we're going to talk about this further on the 6 o'clock live because I'm going to bring this back up because it needs to be revisited. And I want other people's opinions. That's why I'm bringing it to a panel. But here's the thing. I find it all very interesting. They don't want to talk about CRTC. They don't want to talk about racism and the true history of themselves. But yet they continue to do the same history that they've always done. Isn't that crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? And then they try to flip the script and act like we're the ones doing them wrong. Here's the thing. You see, they don't want the truth of their history to show because then it shows a pattern of nefariousness. It shows a pattern of genocide. It shows a pattern of subjugation, oppression, denial of resources. It shows a pattern of segregation, of lynchings and whole hate crimes and other things as well. It shows a pattern of the wicked and evil deeds that they have done. Now, if they want to go pick out the few little small things that some Black people niggardly have done to them, well, they don't have a long list, you see. They don't have a long list. And let me tell you something. They try so desperately. They're so desperate. They try to say, oh, the Black Panther Party were racist. That was a hate group. No, it wasn't. The Black Panther Party never went around lynching white people, stringing them up by ropes by their necks until they were dead, cutting off their genitalia, cutting open white women's bellies, hanging them by their feet, stomping babies. They never did that. They never did that. They fought back against police brutality. That's what they did. They stood up against police brutality. And they didn't just sit there when they were fired on by the police and take the bullets. They fired back. That's why they didn't like them. That's why they demonized them. And they taught Black people about self-defense, and they protected their communities. And they started WIC programs and free breakfast programs. And they taught Black people to be self-sufficient and to do for self and to work together in unison. And they didn't like that. They were no hate group. But they try to paint them as such. And here's the thing. Even if there actually was one Black supremacist group, which there isn't. But even if there were, how can you compare that to the numerous of these groups that they have? The numerous of them that they've had for centuries. If we started today creating our own, we'd never catch up to them. They've had the Klan for how long? And they won't dismantle that, but they'll take down any Black organization that's fighting for freedom, rights, equality, and liberation for Black people. Oh, they'll take them down with lies and BS and planting trumped up charges and all kinds of false narratives. And then they'll put the people that were belonging to the groups in prison, like the former Black Panther Party for self-defense members that are still languishing in prison cells till this day. That's what they'll do. Like the two men they lied on and said they killed Malcolm. That's what they'll do. But these are the people that say, oh, we can't teach critical race theory because that's causing division. That's teaching hate. Honey, this country's always taught hate. This country's never been about love and peace and respect and understanding, living in harmony. It's never been about that since the wicked ones came here. When they talk about making America great again, do you mean before or after 1492? I have questions. So with that all being said, devils don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. And with that all being said, hashtag justice for Jussie. All right? I'm going to say it again. No, Jussie doesn't deserve any prison time. I know he lied. He was wrong for it. I'm sure he's sorry. You know, Jussie was probably going through some type of traumatic event at the time. He may have even had mental health issues that he didn't want to deal with or didn't want to expose because he's an actor. Maybe he wants to keep them private to himself. I mean, don't they always have mental health issues when they go and blow somebody's brains out? Like the guy who shot the Black people in Kroger. Remember, that was a whole hate crime. And then they said it was incompetent to stand trial and all that crap. And they tried to act like he had mental health issues, but he had a presence of mind to go to a Black church to kill Black people, just like Dylan Rittenhouse or Dylan Roof. And then once he couldn't get inside, he went to Kroger. And he killed specifically Black people. And when a man who looked like him told him, if you don't shoot me, I won't shoot you because whites don't kill whites. He didn't kill him. So you're not going to make me think he had no mental issues. He knew exactly what he was doing. You see, the thing about mental health issues, when people are not in their right frame of mind and people just clearly have clouded judgment due to other issues going on with their mental health, they don't tend to be able to decipher between rights and wrong. They're not usually able to organize methodically and to plan and carry out heinous crimes and then hide the evidence or lie and paint narratives. That's what you don't really do very well when you have mental health issues. So I'm calling BS on all of that. They always have an excuse for when their people commit heinous, egregious practices. But when it's a Black person, they want to throw the book at them. Oh, now they want Jussie to pay for the hours, the man hours that were lost and spent searching for the fictional attackers, right? What about the resources they use on all these people that go around lying? What about all of the times they've made fake, bogus unfounded 911 calls on Black people. Don't you know that while those police were responding to bogus 911 calls, there was somebody somewhere who really needed a police officer for a real 911 emergency? So they can miss me with it because it's all bullshit. Okay? And I agree with Tina Knowles-Lawson. Jussie doesn't need any prison time. He doesn't deserve any. He doesn't deserve any. If Amy Cooper didn't deserve any, he doesn't either. If Carolyn Bryant is sitting her old decrepit self somewhere looking like Tales of the Crypt or the Crypt Keeper, and she got away completely with lying and getting Emmett Till lynched, tortured, and all of that, if she can get away with that and she can still live out her last days resting comfortably in her own home with her family around her, when she draws her last breath, something that Emmett Till never got to do. His mother, Mamie Till Mosley, never got to see justice for her son in her lifetime. If Carolyn Bryant can get away with all of that, and her husband and brother who killed Emmett Till got away scot-free and then later admitted that they did it, bragged about it, and were paid $4,000, I think it was $4,400 to be exact, by a journalist for their story during an interview, and they admitted to it. So we absolutely know they did it. We already knew, but now we know for sure. But so if she can get away with that, all of that she can get away with, well, I'm sorry, but Jussie absolutely needs no jail time. He doesn't even need any type of restitution to be paid. He doesn't even need any type of community service, no probation. Jussie only needs to stand in front of everyone publicly and say 2 words: I'm sorry. And then he needs to take a script, a page from the Mayo-splaining Handbook 101, page 22. I had bad judgment. It was a bad decision. I didn't realize how much I would be offending people. I'm so sorry. Could you please forgive me? Yes, Jussie, we forgive you, brother, and we love you. Because that's what they always do, right? And all these Black folks forgiving, if you can forgive them, I know darn well you can forgive Jussie because he's one of ours. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast, and I just want to remind you all that I'm going to be going live on all of these same channels: Authentic Black Goddess TV, Queen QueenAShakur TV show, the original Queen QueenAShakur show, and we're going to be having a panel discussion. We're going to be talking about why all of these Black people are suddenly taking their children out of these public schools and homeschooling them, just like I have been telling Black people to do, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about how they just hate critical race theory and why they don't want to talk about it. We're also going to be talking about what I spoke on earlier today about the coming apocalypse and how we can survive in 2022 with all of these things that are coming ahead for us, right? We're going to be talking about that. So I hope to see you all in the chat at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It doesn't matter which channel you go on. Doesn't matter because we're going to be on all 3 of the main channels, right? So with that all being said, and also make sure you subscribe to my spiritual channel, Queen Amadai TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye for your spiritual vitamins. And then also make sure you subscribe to the paranormal channel if you're into that. Queen Amadai TV presents Beyond the Realm. And then don't forget the true crime channel, Queen Amadai TV presents True Crimes. Queen Amadai TV presents The Root of All Evil, crimes committed only for the sole purpose of monetary gain, clearly nefarious crimes. But with that all being said, make sure you subscribe to all of the channels because there's always good, pertinent, relevant information on all of them. Now, with that all being said, I hope to see you all back at 6 p.m. Christopher says the Queen's conversation stay lit. Keep doing that Black media work, Queen. Thank you, beloved. You know I will. So with that all being said, I wish you all love and peace, and I hope to see you all at 6, all right? And until then, everyone enjoy the rest of this day, and I will talk to you all again soon.